Welcome to another episode of the Southern Boating Podcast. I'm Ian Sneed.
I'm James Anderson.
And today we're going to be talking about a boating bucket list as far as where to travel. And we're going to go based off of the places that we want to travel that we know have a very good reputation in terms of exploring and visiting. Now, before we get started, remember, click the like button, hit subscribe.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button. Hit subscribe so that you get all notifications whenever we post something new. And you're going to leave a comment today. James, what's the comment that they're going to leave?
That's a good one. What comment are we leaving?
You're going to comment about your favorite place
I get to
travel.
say it.
Well, I mean, you got to, if you're going to ask me, I'm going to answer.
No, what we would like for you to do is leave a comment about your favorite place to visit and boat so we can cover it as well and maybe even answer some questions that you might have.
Having said that, you're going to notice that James is a little more red than normal, but not burnt red. And I'm a little more brown than normal, but not burnt brown. And that's because we just spent how many days in the sun at Palm Beach? Because the Palm Beach Boat Show was a very good show. If you did not get to attend.
Largest Palm Beach boat show ever.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It
was
was excellent.
incredible.
It was a lot of fun. You guys probably saw on our social channels that Ian puts a lot of work into. Everywhere that we were, it was absolutely, we got a lot of coverage.
We got a lot of coverage. So go check out our social channels, especially I think Instagram is where we posted a lot of stuff, and then Facebook as well. Go check those out to see everything that we did cover while we were out there. And having said that, let's jump into the content because I know
so
travel is great.
We've got 5 places that are bucket list places to go boating at, right? Or boat to, whether at or to. And we will start off with the closest ones here from Fort Lauderdale and then move on out, right? So the first one for us is one that's a very common boating destination, and that's going to be Bimini in the Bahamas, which is only 50 miles off of our shore here.
50 nautical miles.
50 nautical miles. That is correct.
All the distances we're going to talk about are nautical miles from this point forward, just in case we don't say that every time. But yes.
We said that in tandem.
Oh.
Gotcha. So it's to me, I've been to Bimini several times at this point in time. It's an unbelievable location. I absolutely love going to Bimini. It's very easy to navigate and go to. You have plenty of resources while you're at Bimini. Customs can be a breeze, but you need to prepare yourself. And there's some tricks that you can do. You have click to clear and many other things. But Bimini overall, I mean, to me, it is a great boating destination. It's a great family destination. Whether you're there to fish or enjoy the beaches, it's a very beautiful spot.
Some activities, snorkeling, obviously, because like you were just
great
saying.
Snorkeling, great diving.
Yes, great diving. Fishing so the ones that I wrote down, marlin, tuna, and bonefish.
Yeah, and wahoo.
With that, a fun fact is that they're known as, well, you said the sports fishing capital of the world, right?
The big game sport fishing capital of the world.
Yeah, and I had it as big game fishing capital of the world, but essentially the big game sport fishing capital of the world, which if you're into sport fishing, our June issue will be coming out in a couple of months, and it's all about fishing. So you want to make sure that you're subscribed for that.
Absolutely.
Bimini is one of my definite bucket lists because I'm not from Florida originally, so I haven't been there. Everyone out here is like, "Oh, you haven't been to Bimini?" And I'm like, "No, I've only been here a couple years, and I'm barely getting settled in." So stop rubbing it in my face. No, I'm joking. I'm so joking. No, I'm excited to go there. We're gonna make that happen at some point.
And there's a couple of things to check out there, right? In the water, one of the dive sites is going to be the Soprano wreck. And that's really cool. Been there for eons. It's partially out of the water. But then also you've got the Bimini Road, which is what they believe tied to Atlantis, right? The lost city of Atlantis.
Right. Or it's one of the theories out there, one of the locations that they believe. Yeah.
Right. But then other than that too, so the marinas and some of the hotels out there. So you have Resort World Bimini, which is a luxurious hotel with a casino, and it's got a full service marina there. You also have Bimini Big Game Club, which is a historic marina, great for sport fishing. And then you also have many places that you can actually anchor too. And then the other one that I'm leaving out, how can I forget this one? Because I need it desperately. Ponce de Leon's Fountain of Youth.
Yep. That's in Bimini?
That's in Bimini. And in fact, I'll tell you a quick story. So the first time that I went over to Bimini, I was probably in my 20s. And you know how I am with wiener dogs. There was a guy that was taking his wiener dog to the Fountain of Youth.
What? That's cool.
Yeah, right? Because his wiener dog was older and had back issues, and he was hoping the Fountain of Youth was going to heal his dog.
That's sweet. That's sweet. Now, we've given a lot of focus on Bimini, and most people are probably very familiar with Bimini if you're used to boating out in Florida, but that's just because we're big fans of the Bahamas. So let's jump to the next closest one.
That's going to be Key West.
Key
and
West.
You've got some interesting points on Key West.
Sure, yeah. Let's start with the distance, right?
Right.
So going from here to Key West is 200 nautical miles. And we're also kind of grouping the Dry Tortugas into this because this is also one of our bucket list destinations.
Correct.
And that's only an extra 60 nautical miles.
60 to 70 nautical miles.
Right, from
west
Key West.
of Key West.
Exactly. In my head, it's you should plan to go to the Dry Tortugas via Key West.
Correct.
That would be the best way to do it. Some of the best times to visit would be mid-April to late May, but you could also do November to mid-December. Really, it just kind of depends on your cruising itineraries. A few of the things that I want to point out as far as activities to do in this area. Obviously, exploring Fort Jefferson, which is Dry Tortugas, right? And then you have the Dry Tortuga National Park. Mallory Square, which is like...
That's downtown Key West.
Downtown Key West. Definitely a lively place for an evening, activities.
You go to Mallory Square to watch the sunset many times?
Oh, that too, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot that you can do there, so that's definitely one of those must-visit itinerary pieces. Obviously, there's going to be snorkeling and diving coral reefs. If you're going to go fishing, tarpon, snapper, and grouper are going to be three of your best bets. And the fun fact for this one is home to the only tropical coral reef in the continental United States. I didn't know that.
Interesting fact.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things to take note of if you're going to go to the Tortugas, right? So number one, it is a national park, but they have a permit for overnight anchoring. And upon your arrival, you can apply for that permit. They also allow camping on the beach if you would like to. And again, same process. You can apply for that when you arrive at Fort Jefferson. There is no fuel, no water, no provisioning when you're at the Dry Tortugas in Fort Jefferson. So you need to make sure that your vessel has the capability of going there and back. And that's why we say it's probably best for you to stop in Key West first and then go, because that's a huge ordeal. So you need to make sure that you have water, enough water for a day or two, depending on how long your stay is going to be, and your boat will have enough fuel capacity to go there and back. The other thing is going to be there is no cell phone service, so double check your VHF radio if you are going. It's very, very critical because that's going to be your only means of communication if you run into a problem. It's a good point to check out. Make sure your VHF is running, it's working properly, and then you'll use channel 16 if you need any assistance.
Yeah.
Because the nearest Coast Guard station is going to be Key West.
Right. Those are great points.
And it's a good family destination for a day, maybe two if you have the right camping and or boat that you can anchor and stay on overnight. Let's move on to the next one as we venture a little deeper.
This next one is something that I'm excited to go to.
Right. So we're talking about the Turks and Caicos.
Yes.
Right? Just a little bit further south in the Bahamian island chain. Very beautiful island. I mean, it's known for its beaches. We've seen a lot of coverage here recently.
Distance from Fort Lauderdale is just under 600 nautical miles. So, just about 600 nautical miles. You got to bear that in mind if you're planning the trip.
You do have some custom and entries, and you can do those at Grand Turk, South Caicos, and you can do it with, they call it, just like we have click to clear in the Bahamas, they have sail to clear in the Turks. You have several marinas and anchoring opportunities, so including Blue Haven Marina. You have the South Bank Marina, and there are also some anchorages that are famous, which is Grace Bay and Sapodilla Bay.
As far as activities, things that I noted, snorkeling the Barrier Reef, which I think was a great idea. Exploring uninhabited keys. So
they are made up of several small islands.
Yeah, so that it gives you a lot of nature exploration. If you're going fishing, bonefish and deep sea species. That's kind of what you have to look forward to. The final thing that I wrote down was visiting the conch farm because, fun fact on them, Turks and Caicos has the world's only commercial conch farm. I didn't know that until I researched just for this to add a little fun fact on everything that we talk about. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
And one thing out of all the last couple of destinations that I'm going to highlight is you want to make sure that you have up-to-date charts when going to these destinations.
Oh, yeah.
Because it is shallow in many areas, as well as you have shifting sandbars. So you need to be paying extra close attention to this and updating your charts to make sure that you have the most recent chart via NOAA so you're not going to run into any troubles.
So now we're jumping over to
Now
the one
we
that
can do
he's
the
got some.
one. Yeah, so we're going to talk about St. Lucia, right? It is way down there, far away. We're talking roughly about 1,500 nautical miles away from Fort Lauderdale.
Yep.
So this is a long-distance cruise option, but it is possible to go there via cruising because you can make several stops. But it is, I can tell you in person from seeing it, breathtaking. It was one of my favorite places I have been in my life. We went there for my honeymoon many moons ago now. It has a dormant volcano. The people in St. Lucia are amazing. Some of the activities that you can do while you're on the island are the sulfur baths, right? Because of the old volcano.
Yeah.
Right? So there's lots of sulfur in the area. Very good for your skin.
Incredible for your skin.
Right? You can do their famous Pitons, which is the two twin peaks that you see in almost all of their advertisements.
Which, fun fact, is a World Heritage Site.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And you can actually climb those two pitons.
That's awesome.
So they have Grand Piton and Petit Piton,
Petit Piton.
right? And we actually stayed in a resort called Ladera for part of our trip that is high up on the ridge at about 1,000 feet overlooking the two pitons. And it was what they call a 3-wall resort. And they've got multiple of these to where your resort room or your hotel room is open to the elements.
Yeah.
So that third wall, or what would be the fourth wall to enclose it, is not there. It's open to the elements. Absolutely gorgeous. You look down. They even give you binoculars so you can do some whale watching.
That's awesome.
You're talking about probably trip time anywhere between 7 and 14 days is what they estimate, depending on whether you're sailing or powerboating. Powerboating obviously gets you there a little bit faster.
Right.
Best times of the year to go, December through May. Now, this is further in the Caribbean, so one side of the island is usually rougher than the other side of the island, right? It does require, so St. Lucia requires all incoming vessels to clear customs and immigration upon arrival, typical. The places that you can actually go there and clear customs are going to be Rodney Bay, Castries, Sulfree, and Vieux Fort. You also have some safe places to anchorage that are noted, which is Margot Bay, Sulfree, and Anse Cocon. So you also do have the capability of fuel and provisioning there, right? Rodney Bay is very good for what they say is for your provisioning and your fuel stop.
You have way more facts about St. Lucia than I had down.
Well,
but you also have personal experience with
I have
it, so.
personal experience. I spent a little over a week there. It was absolutely amazing. I will never forget it. Obviously because it's my honeymoon, but just in general, it's an island that I really want to go back to. And in fact, Skip and Michelle will be visiting St. Lucia in the coming months.
That's awesome.
And I can't wait to go back. So watch out, St. Lucia, I'm coming. Until next time, I'm James Anderson.
I'm Ian Sneed.
We'll see you next week.
All the distances we're going to talk about are nautical miles from this point forward, just in case we don't say that every time.
Jinx, we said that in tandem.
Oh.
Gotcha. To me, there's no other place like it. And it's so close. What? Me talking too much? Ian? What about you, Ian? Will you just spit it out? No. How red are you? Are you breathing? Yes, Ian. Your eyes.
All right. You said my name 3 times. Thank you. You jinxed me. I couldn't say anything until I said my name 3 times, or I got you a Coke. But we're recording. I can't go get you a Coke. Goodness.
I couldn't figure it out.
Okay, so.
Oh, wow. What is this, Beetlejuice?
In regards to essentially. In regards to Bimini, some activities, snorkeling.